Team Richard Tabem. Let me introduce you to my good friend Phylip Morgan of Pax8. I sat in on your session where you were talking about robotics and the future of managed services. And that got me really excited for the future of the managed service industry. Having done this for 20 years, that's a difficult thing nowadays to get super excited. What are the endpoints for MS going to look like in, let's just say, the year 2030? Because there's a lot of stuff going on with AI, robotics and everything else. What should they be preparing for now?
The presentation I did today on the robots are coming is encouraging people to have a different lens about the lots of different devices that we have right now that we don't call robots. The first thing I talked about, a drone. What is it? It's actually just a flying robot. We talked about an autonomous car. It's a transportation robot. All these are becoming digital devices that are at the end of the network, right? I was introducing them for a future in 2030 where probably at your garage/conservatory where you are putting all your content together, Richard, you will have 4 devices or 4 endpoints that you will be using and that will be managed. Right now, you've got a mobile device on you. You've also got laptop or a desktop for your big work with big screens on it. Equally, you might have an autonomous vehicle in the driveway or that you'll be hailing by 2030. If you haven't got street parking or whatever, you'll hail that car. We've already seen that. But as well as that, your profile for yourself will be, it's you in the car. So when it comes in, not only will it move the seats and the heating, but the profile, because you'll be sat in the back, it's autonomously driving. You will be able to continue your work. As you jump in on the screen in the back, you will be able to see exact same desktop as if you were just working from your office. And then the other part of it is the robotic part, an Optimus, Tesla type robot maybe.
Remote.
If you had an autonomous robot, what would you call him or her? Give him a name right now and don't rush, because this is in history now, going to be a recorded moment. When you eventually have your robot,
I'm going to have to
call him, her.
So I'm tempted to go with the Jarvis theme from
Okay,
Marvel, but
lovely.
I think I'd go old school Jeeves.
Jeeves, okay. You will be getting ready to go, and he'll be saying, Jeeves, can you do me a favor? Can you pack my luggage and grab my Pax8 mug and get everything ready to go, because I've just hailed. Your car is going to be called...
For me, I'm a man of simple terms, so it's probably car.
He's not going to like that. The bit that I was trying to talk about is see the robotic future as just another endpoint.
What does it mean for managed service providers? There's a danger that the audience of MSPs think, we saw this when cloud came along. There was lots of MSPs, lots of IT solution providers who said, on-site servers are never going to go away. I'm absolutely sure of that. What do you have to say to people saying, yeah, Phil's a futurist, but the future's somewhere down the line. I don't have to worry about it just yet. What are Pax8 doing to help educate people? What are the baby steps we need to take from there to 2030?
You and I are old enough, considerably mature enough, to know that this dance of on-premise to data center, which is actually cloud, we say, well, it's data center. This toing and froing has been taking place in the whole history of computing.
Again and again.
Where are we going to put the compute? Where are we going to put the data? What's going to be on the edge? And we're already seeing right now AI PCs, AI devices that we're having to put GPUs on the edge in order to get a faster speed, share the load. We'll see all of that in this new agentic age changing again. Maybe some of that profile will be downloaded into your robot, whether it's a drone or autonomous vehicle or an Optimus or whatever it is. How much AI is going to be running there? This dance of compute and data, both in cloud and in premise or in device, is just going to continue. How we get there is based on AI, because fundamentally AI either works on large language models or varying small language models and different things that we've got. The problem is, in order to create those models, you need these supercomputers to be able to create them. It's very much in its infancy. We are early kind of .com kind of period for AI right now. It'll eventually play out and we'll see who's going to win on the application of those technologies. Clearly NVIDIA and such got a win right now on the hardware side of things. In terms of the software frameworks that these things are using, who will win that? maybe somebody who's not even around right now.
Yeah.
The bottom line is SMBs and the small businesses that MSP serves will want to access that technology, and they're going to go to their trusted advisor. They're going to want help and advice. So the MSP needs to learn to speak this new language and to help them deliver that business result they're looking for.
I absolutely agree. I'm speaking down the lens now specifically to some MSPs who are not doing anything with AI. You and I, we are experienced enough to when computers were first introduced at school. I was really into the computer at school. We had one that we pushed around on a trolley. I was really into it, but lots of my colleagues, lots of my fellow school children said, computing's not for me. And they got left behind as the computing age swam in. And I'm seeing that with AI at the moment. Some people are going, no, it's not the deal. What would you have to say to MSPs who are going, I think AI is just a fad, or I don't really need to know about it, suspecting what you and I suspect, which is there's going to come a big digital divide here between people who know AI and people who don't know AI. What would you say to MSPs right now about AI?
I think with the evolution of business and technology in every sphere of life, the only constant is change. It's all changing. You take like COBOL programmers. How many of those are left on the planet?
Sure.
How many of them are actually needed? Well, they're still needed.
Yeah.
There is that piece of technology that's back there by some kind of weird company that needs it. Whilst there's the leading edge, it is also good, and there are people that are needed in the trailing edge technology. How do I know that? As one that has got a passion for older cars of a vintage variety, you try and get car parts, or you try and get a specialist that knows how to strip the engine, bore the head, put it back together again. I tell you what, it's getting narrower and narrower,
Sure.
the kind of people that understand that old internal combustion technology. There will always be a place for the MSP. You've just got to decide which place is yours. That's all. Yeah. I think if that niche is getting smaller and you are the person with a hammer that knows how to tap the propeller in the right place to get it working, you could be that guy and charge thousands and thousands of pounds with your little hammer. Is that the future for you? Might well be. All I'm saying is where the market is going and what we need to be aware of in terms of our strategy in building our businesses.
Let's talk about something practical that you mentioned as well. You're a huge fan of Copilot. I've learned more about Copilot from this man than probably anybody else. Copilot Studio. You were talking about the agentic future of AI and things, and this is something that Pax8 are helping educate MSPs on. This is something that Microsoft's making available to partners. Talk specifically about that a little bit and some of the things that you've done with it on a personal level.
The first thing that stuns me is the number of people that are still using OpenAI, using ChatGPT out there. When you're using OpenAI, let's say it's your MSA agreement or your contract that you have, you are pulling that in and saying, can you spell check this for me, or can you review this for me in line with UK law or legislation at the moment. The moment you drop that in there and hit submit, you are adding your data to their large language model.
Yeah.
If I do exactly the same process on Microsoft Copilot, all I'm doing is putting my document, whatever it is, that piece of maybe even IP that I've created, it doesn't get added, although it's powered by OpenAI.
It's ring-fenced.
There is a firewall between that. It's looking at the large language model that all the masses have loaded up, because that's why it's free, right? If a product is free, you become the product.
If you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
You are the product. So it gets loaded up there. The number of MSPs that talk to me about ChatGPT rather than Copilot, it's stunning. If you want to secure your business, make sure it's on Microsoft Copilot. And the other thing that you have, Microsoft Copilot now comes with a Copilot Studios license. So you can create your own agent using a smaller language model. You can point it at particular data sources. Let's say I'm an MSP, I've got 50 staff in my company, and I want to create a HR Copilot for them. If they've got any questions, they don't have to email the head of HR at my business and say, what about this is holiday policy, or what's the grievance procedure, or what's this? I can create a Copilot, call it HR Assistant. I go in, what do I want you to do? This is going to help you answer lots of questions about your employment at XYZ MSP. Then I pointed at data source. This is our employment manual, this is our expenses policy, maybe as many as 18, 19 documents, not the employment contract. We don't want sensitive information on particular employees. It's a general language model. If any employee has a question they want to ask at XYZ MSP, they can do that. You can do that now in your business. You can create loads of these little agents that are working for you. That's the way Copilot works. I'm trying to give this stepping stone of become a really good pro at Copilot, then become a really good pro at using Copilot Studios, and then you can graduate and you can go to ai.azure.com and start playing with Azure Foundry, which is the big boys product, and it's just amazing what you can build.
Let's give a shout out for your colleagues at the Pax8 Academy who are doing incredible work at the moment. What's some of the work that Pax8 Academy have done recently that you think, that's awesome?
The biggest work, and a massive shout out to my colleague Eric Mink and Andy Redman.
Yeah.
So Eric Mink is our VP of AI adoption. You can reach out to them. So any opportunity around AI that an MSP wants to close with a customer, he's there to help you in any way that we can. And Andy Redmond, he's speaking at Beyond. He's a great kind of leader in our academy, and he leads our newly polished data and AI masterclass. Back to the HR story that I shared with you earlier. Please don't go jumping down an AI journey and connecting it to piles of different things if you haven't, first of all, organized your data strategy, then off the back of the data strategy decided what your data governance approach is, and then also put together a data security ring fence around it to make sure who has access to the right data. All of that content is talked at the Data and AI Masterclass. There's a wait list, but please reach out if you're a partner and we'll see if we can get you on a cancellation list for it.
Yeah.
Get on the Data and AI Masterclass with Andy Redmond. It really is something incredible.
And if you're not a Pax8 partner, it's a no-brainer. There's going to be some MSPs that are watching this concept of a marketplace. They're going to say, my clients deal with me, and if they want something, they pick up the phone and they call me or they drop me an email and we do the deal. The world is changing though, isn't it, Phil?
It is.
It really is. What would you say to MSPs about the concept of marketplaces as a whole? What should MSPs be preparing for now for the future? Because there's lots of reasons. I know firsthand that there is a certain proportion of the population, typically people who are younger than you and I, they don't want to speak to human beings. They want to be able to, at 2 a.m, on Saturday morning or whatever, they'll be working away, and they want to press a button and to just buy something. That goes against what a lot of MSPs have traditionally done business in that way. Tell us more about what those MSPs should do to prepare.
You're bang on right, Richard, as ever, and I get it. What I do get is all the MSPs that you and I talk to, they always start with, what you don't understand, Richard, is my business is different. Yes, your business is different in maybe the way that you do business, because most MSPs like to have a conversation with a customer. They don't want it to be a transaction where I just want to buy a product from you. They feel that the value that they bring is the wrapper that it comes with, and they see that as the trusted advisor. Why do you think that in creating a way that I can procure and buy from your MSP digitally, we're losing value? These same MSPs have moved from paper and pen contract to a digital contract, and they've emailed it across, they sign it digitally and send it back. It's just an adoption of technology. We've created at Pax8 what we call the MSP marketplace. We call them storefronts. We create the ability for an MSP to take their tech stack, good, better, best, plus some customization, even adding custom products in for some widget or gizmo or whatever that they're doing. They've got that whole flexibility, and to stand up either for all the customers, one customer, whatever, you can stand up countless storefronts. Reach out to us at Pax8, play with a storefront, set one up, and you'll see the way that you can create a digital way for someone to trade. Much like the way the black cabs in London could have hit back by just developing an app.
Yeah.
If they'd got together and developed an app, then the whole Uber conversation wouldn't have been a thing. MSPs that see where the market is going and create a way for Gen Z and others, we know they've got a propensity to want to buy digitally. But Rick, as old as you are, mate, you still buy products digitally, right?
Oh yeah.
If there's a way that you don't have to speak to a person and just get it done,
Every time.
you will do it that way.
Or
right?
indeed, make a purchase and then know that a human being can follow up afterwards. It's the best of both worlds.
And so I think that's the future of an MSP. We're not digital first yet, we're still people first, but there's going to be a crossover here with AI, and we're going to see that happen in the next 10, 15 years. Are you going to know that you're actually speaking to a human? I don't know.
Thank you for your time, Phil. Always a pleasure, mate.
Likewise.
Nice to see you.
And
Cheers.
Rich, thanks for all you do. Thanks.